activity that we observe on an everyday basis. You can take the most creative person on the planet, and whoever that person may be, understand that that is just a small fraction as to the true power of the human species. It is just that we have been so manipulated, whether it's through subliminal manipulation, whether it's through religious indoctrination, whether it's through political institutions, to believe that somehow we have to bow down to something external of ourselves. And I would tell you guys, without saying too much, that there is a force, as it were, but more specifically, there is a level of consciousness that exists within the universe that is actively participating in the manipulation of human consciousness, and the individuals that most people believe are the true masterminds of this are mere puppets. This is one of the issues that I take with the so-called truth movement, always focusing on people like Obama, or focusing on Rockefeller, or focusing on Rihanna, or focusing on Jay-Z. These are mere puppets in the bigger scheme in terms of the manipulation that's taking place on planet Earth, dealing with human consciousness here. There is other forces at work here.
And so, since this, whatever this is it, do you know of a way for people to fight it, to not allow it to use us as a sort of its alchemical creations that is just using us for its own agendas? Do you have a practice that you use yourself that sort of acts as a shield against it?
Yeah. Let me be clear. I think I should say this, and I haven't said this before, but I think this is important. One of the things that we have to understand is that all things, even the stuff that manipulate us, comes from us. Now I want people to understand. Please follow me here. And when I say comes from us, I'm not talking about the physical manifestation of the human species here on planet Earth. The human species is just a biological entity that we inhabit for a short period of time. We go into contract with it. Okay, if you allow us to participate on planet Earth, we'll be sure to take care of you so long as our consciousness is intact. Many of us, we lost our consciousness. We lost our soul connection. But for those of us who still maintain a soul connection, one of the things that I understand is that all things that permeate inside the universe is a manifestation of us. One of the things that happens when we choose to manifest here is that we dispel with that same force that manipulates us once we're here. Okay, some people are like, well, what are you talking about? Okay, I've never said it before. I'm just going to say it. You observe the quality of the child that manifests here on planet Earth. And the child is so pure. It is so pure. I have 4 babies approved, right? You observe the quality of the child that assimilates information at speeds and rates that are ingenious. Right? And I observe this on an everyday basis. How is this possible? And there's somebody else, and you used to observe the level of creativity. Oh my, the level of creativity within children prior to being indoctrinated into the public school system, prior to being subjected to different levels of subliminal manipulation. They epitomize one of the higher levels of consciousness in terms of as it manifests within the human species. And it's not until we're manipulated that we begin to become what I call dumb. And this is the reality. One of the things that we have to understand is that when we first manifest here, we have already dispelled with the negative aspect of ourselves, meaning that force that seeks to control us. Meaning that force that is, some people, they have different terms for it. They call it evil. Some people call it Satan. Some people call it Lucifer. Whatever you want to call it, understand that prior to manifesting here, you had already dispelled that evil from your conscious awareness of reality. And part of the game, as it were, once we manifest here, is that we have this continued struggle against that level of consciousness, that evil level, that consciousness I can use the term, the consciousness of evil. We have this continuous battle where it's trying to re-indoctrinate us to accepting it back into our consciousness. This is the whole game. I haven't said this before, but this is absolutely true. This is the whole game, the level of the manipulation that's taking place. If we want to call it evil, it is really evil trying to come back in and be part of who and what we are. But understand that the reality that we dispelled with it in the first place tells us, first of all, that we're more powerful than it, but also that we have already transcended an existence within which it was part of us. This is to say that once we come into this realm and then we begin to see the different levels of manipulation and the manifestations of evil intent and so forth, we understand, look, we've already dispelled with you, and therefore you do not have power over us. We actually have power over you. And that's how I deal on planet Earth. I recognize that the evil that comes my way, whether it's in document, a film that I observe or a music video, I recognize, look, this is part of a past consciousness that was associated with me. but this is not a part of who and what I am now. And I just fell with it when I was, before I manifested here. Therefore, I have more power than it. And while I'm here, I need to recognize that I still have more power than it. While I'm here, whether it's for 80 years, 90, 100 years, 120 years, understand that I still have power over it. And part of our manipulation has been to have human beings believe that somehow evil is more powerful than we are. That is absolutely untrue. We are more powerful than it. We kicked it out of our conscience prior to manifesting it here, and now it wants to come on back in. I don't think so.
Wow, that is some very powerful stuff you just said there. You actually have just painted the perfect picture, I believe, of what is truly happening here.